Ladies and gentlemen, it is Sunday. You know what that means. Your boys are back for another episode of the Piledriver. Season 3, episode 9. I'm excited about it. Season 3. So it's popped up in my feeds just recently, and I believe it's like the 19th is our anniversary, Vince.
Man.
You know, we've been around for 2 years. The Piledriver's been around doing our thing. So the month of March is our birth month. So I'm really excited about that, actually. We're gonna be doing some big things in March for the Piledriver. So how are you this evening, sir? How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. What a weekend we had.
That new light looks great. You got that new light looking bright and shiny.
I know, and I don't think we're are we doing any technical difficulties? I think we're working good tonight.
We are working good so far, so good. We got a big show tonight. We're going to talk about RSW coming up this weekend on the 9th. Later on in the show, we are going to be joined by one of the participants. She's going to be going one-on-one with Chelsea Ray. We are going to be joined by Kolbe Max, who's I've been told is a young up-and-comer. She's got lots of skills. I've watched a couple matches from her. She's been training since she was 16 years old. So she's been in this business for some years now. So we'll get to see what she's made of, firsthand this coming weekend. But I want to talk a little, we're going to talk a little Leap because you were fortunate enough to head to AIW Leap over this weekend or on Thursday on Leap Day.
Yep.
Tell us what went down. I wasn't able to attend, so I won't be able to give my rating, but Vince will give his rating. And I apologize. I meant to say this. Dean will be with us shortly. He's dealing with some technical difficulties on his computer. No biggie. He's coming. I've talked to him. And if not, we'll send him the link. He'll join on his phone. We'll get him in here as soon as he's trying to work it out. But We're going to talk about Leap before we get everybody in here. And like I said, Vince was able to take in AIW at the Mercury Lounge on Thursday. So tell us a little bit. Favorite matches, all that good stuff.
All right. So, we saw Leap on Thursday, and that was an awesome show. Just starting off, they had 10 full matches ready and ripping to go, and all of them were fast-paced. All of them showcased all of the great talent that AIW has, in their roster, and ultimately – Just a great, awesome Thursday show. I mean, we were out late. We were there till I think 11:30 even. But I'm glad we both called off, me and my buddy. So I'm just gonna start off. I'm just gonna go through them real quick, and we'll talk about a couple things in each match, and then I'm also going to throw in there. So I found out kind of quickly while I was watching that I had a group of, I'm only assuming the women of AIW behind me because I could tell they were rooting for particular wrestlers. And let me tell you, the commentary that I got from them was absolutely amazing. And I'm going to actually quote a few through each match. I'll make sure to,
Tommy said we need to do a GoFundMe for Dean to get a new computer.
Yes, I agree with that too. I agree with that. We'll start that right after this episode. So, all right. So starting at the very beginning of this card, we had the Productions Open Challenge, and it was just really funny. Derek Dillinger ended up calling himself the Scorsese of the Indies, super Scorsese of the Indies. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. Sitting there, running their mouths, telling make sure everyone knows they're from Pittsburgh and they're in Cleveland and Lakewood and they're here to throw down. And then all of a sudden, we get some challengers. Malcolm from Members Only came out with Jocelyn Navarro. And that was awesome because, like I just said, we're so used to seeing Malcolm with Members Only as just that. It's just him by himself, or not, but him with his tag team partner. And you really never see tag team partners stray from their usual partners. But in a mixed gender tag match, this was awesome. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for them to, beat the production. Derek and Katie Arquette both collectively together took a win. And they did. I had to ask Derek what this was called. And thank you, Derek, for letting me know exactly what this was called. Both Derek and Katie grabbed Malcolm, and they ended up doing what was called a double recoil bomb on him. And it was one of the craziest maneuvers I've ever seen in a tag team match in person. It was just very well done. And you can just see Katie and Derek really work well as a tag team. And again, thank you, Derek, for letting me know exactly what that move was, because that was insane. This next match was Edelon Black, which is somebody I'd never seen before. And then we had Philly Collins, who is part of PME. Again, have tag team partner or usual tag team wrestler straying from his normal partner. And he put on a great show. I love Philly. I think he's great. He's got these little moves he does in the ring. They're great. Edelon was definitely a newer type of talent. He did a lot of crawling. He had his face painted black. But a very unique character.
Like a dark, spooky type of character.
Yes. Real reminiscent of Boogeyman. I actually really liked his entrance gear. He stitched together his own pair of pants. So he had one like a black on one side and then like a camo on the other, and you could tell he stitched the crotch together. And I was like, that's the type of innovation I like to see. So you get but unfortunately Philly Collins did take home the win. So, that was awesome to see. All right. Up to next is we had Chuck Stone and Alex Maynard. This is where I started hearing some really funny commentary from behind me. We all know who Chuck Stone is. Big Chuck Stone. Alex Maynard is a little bit of a newer character. He is a video game nerd, and he comes out swinging an N64 controller, kind of just wildly,
as a weapon.
Yes. He doesn't use it as a weapon. He kind of comes out and he was kind of
just kind of like a Bianca Belair kind of thing, like with the hair.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I'll say that. I like that. And Alex is not a very big guy, so seeing them go together, it was kind of like a one-sided match. But Alex really did put on a great show. A lot of rope maneuvers, a lot of counters. It was great to see. Although the girls behind me made sure to let Alex know that he's too big for you. And that was in regards to Chuck. Yeah, it was just really great. Alex got real close to the ceiling a few times. That ring was really low.
Did they have a low boy? Did they have a low boy in there? Or was
they did not. Not
this regular size ring. Okay.
It was their normal ring. It was great to see. And Alex had a lot of ring awareness, so I'm going to give him a lot of kudos for that. Again, not enough though. Chuck ended up winning, and as Chuck does, just brutalizing this poor young man. So, hopefully next time we get a W from Alex. Let's see. There was a women's match, and I'm gonna feel so bad. I did not catch Zia Brookside's opponent's name. Zia Brookside did end up winning.
Okay.
I really cannot remember her. Looks like my notes, I missed the note too. So I do apologize for that. But it was a great match, so I do remember that. And I also remember hearing the girls behind me yell, "Hit her in the titty." Hit her in the titty. And like I said, I was just laughing this entire time.
I got a shirt that says "Punch him in the wiener and hit him with a pile driver."
Yo, that's awesome. I love that.
I bought it. It was an AIW. I can't remember whose shirt it, or AEW. Sorry, it was AEW. I can't remember whose shirt it was. I want to say like a Roderick Strong. Like it was like a neck awareness because somebody caught a pile driver and they were wearing a neck brace. So yeah, as soon as I saw, I was like, I need it.
That's awesome. I love that. All right, I'm gonna try to run through a couple more of these real quick. So we saw some tag team action, and I've talked about this before. We had Shaw Mason and Dom Guarini together again, which was great.
Yes.
I love seeing them work together. They work so well. Just the body language and everything about them. And they were going up against Zay Garcia and Sydney Von England. I'm more familiar with Zay, not so much with Sydney.
I'm actually familiar with Sydney more than Zay. So that's actually works out. I've seen the Von Englands. They used to work a lot in OCW. They're actually very good. I love the Von Englands. They're great. They're great outside the ring as well. Like great people.
They were
not
awesome.
Obviously they're not from here. They are from, I can't remember where exactly they're from, but big Cleveland Browns fans. So we connected on that immediately.
Cool. No, that's awesome. Yeah. They all four of these participants put on a great show. just, lots of chops from Dom. I loved it. We always love chops from Dom. Sydney as well. A lot of good technical wrestling from both Shaw and Zay as well too. Shaw and Dom ended up getting the win. But my favorite part of that was there was a moment when I do believe Dom and Sydney got nose to nose, and the girls behind me made sure to tell them to kiss. So
kiss up.
Kiss them already was the words I heard. This one's a little bit of a quicker one. It was Tyson Riggs versus Nipsey Nash. Tyson Riggs comes out. He's got the
that's judo the ninja. Title. That's the karate motherfucker, right?
Karate guy. Okay. Yep. And I don't know if Nipsey Nash comes out a little differently, a little more eccentric. And again, I'm just gonna keep quoting the girls that were behind me. They screamed out as Nipsey came out, "Nice purse, weirdo," because he had a Gucci bag. Okay. It was a nice purse though. I will agree.
Hey, Gucci. I ain't got no Gucci bags.
That's what I'm saying. Lots of counters. It was really cool to see Tyson really working well. He's been up and coming a lot lately, and I really felt like he showcased his moves this time around. He ended up taking home the win, but it was just a really good match altogether. We had a fatal 4-way. It was Sam Holloway versus Kaplan versus Tyler Jordan versus Marino, and this.
There right there is another option where you get Marino out of his element normally because he's a tag team wrestler with Philly. So yes. I mean, but Marino can fly. So I've seen Marino do some flippy dips and just some craziness before as well. So
no, and that's you literally took all the words out of my mouth because that was exactly what Marino did. It was a lot of high flying action. He's
a fucking beast.
And he killed himself for this show, guy. Guy. I almost said guys, but he really killed himself for this show, Mike. I could really tell that this showing really meant a lot for him. I could see his heart out on the line, and unfortunately, I do believe he did get hurt. I know that a lot of people were worried about that at the end of the show. I didn't really get to see him before I left to make sure everything was okay, but if you're out there, buddy, I hope you heal up quick. That sucked. Yeah, it was a fatal 4-way if I've ever seen one. These guys beat the crap out of each other. Kaplan.
I would say I know Kaplan's a machine. Well, yeah, Sam. He don't give a shit. And then of course Hardway, Sam Holloway just fucking tank.
And then we got Tyler Jordan, who's an up and comer. He is
I'm not familiar with him.
He is really good. He's got a huge move set, and he really showcases the strength that he has. And just watching these guys go up against each other, especially when you have Hardway Holloway versus Kaplan, I just love these matches because these guys put on. I mean, I'm talking beating the living shit out of each other and still walking somehow. Sam did end up taking the win. So kudos to Sam. Jordan ended up, like I said, Marino got hurt, and then Tyler Jordan ended up walking. He was bleeding pretty good too. So don't know what happened there.
I always love a good Crimson Mask. I won't even lie about it. It's probably one of my favorite things.
This was a thigh, but I'll still take it. Blood is blood. All right, this one's really important to me. I'm actually really this one. It was really awesome to see. So this was Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham versus Shelby Wilder. Like I told you guys before, Shelby took a really bad bump during their Halloween.
Yes, I remember. Okay,
he did already come back once.
I was gonna say, but this was kind of his semi-return to the ring. He's been kind of absent since.
This is also him returning to the venue where he did get hurt.
Oh, okay.
Dr. Dan really led that out as the match started, letting everyone know how important this was to see Shelby back in the Mercury Lounge, back in the ring.
Kind of gave him some respect type shit.
Yes, and it was very well deserved, even though he did get called fire crotch by the girls behind me.
All right.
So anyways, great to see Shelby back at the Mercury Lounge. Unfortunately, Dr. Dan did get the win, and it was still a beautiful thing. I don't even know what Dr. Dan did. It kind of looked like a riptide, kind of grabbed him underneath through the legs and then just kind of pounded him. But it was good. That was cool. I was real surprised when I saw that at the very end of that match. So awesome, Dr. Dan. Okay. This is going to be my quote of the entire night. This was the best quote I heard by the girls behind me. This was during the Vic Vice versus Austin James match. And this was like a rivalry that needed to get settled.
I'm familiar with Vic Vice. Not
So,
as familiar with
Austin James is the baseball player.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to start with this. I'm going to start with the quote. One of the girls behind me made sure to let Austin James know that if he did not win this match, his marriage depended on it.
Oh,
that's a lot riding on a match. Let's be real. That's a lot of motivation.
Oh, so his wife was behind you.
Yes, or possibly fiance. I don't know which, but I should have asked more about that. I kind of didn't want to be that weirdo talking to the girls behind me and being like, "Yeah, what's up, girls?" But I, whatever. I'm just a reporter.
You totally could have did it. You totally could have did it.
That was just beautiful though, because that really you could see like they're really fighting. They're really putting out. It was awesome. They slammed the hell out of each other. A lot of kickouts too. They pin, get a 1 count, pin, get a 2 count. They were kicking out every time. James won.
A lot of fight. So he's still married or getting married.
Still getting married. So Austin James did take home the W, which I was sweating for him a little bit.
I mean, yeah.
They did shake hands at the end, and I do believe that means that this rivalry has ended. And I like seeing that. I like to see that the definitive end. I get it 100%. So that was awesome. And then I'm gonna go right to it. The main event. This was called out at Eye for an Eye. This is Wes Barkley versus Eric Taylor with, of course, Duke in tow. This
Wes wanted his title back.
He wanted it back. He wanted to walk home with it because Wes just lives right down the street from Mercury. I was rooting for Wes, and everybody was rooting for Wes. This was just something we all wanted to see. We wanted to get his Intense title back, and I really thought he had it. He was beating the hell out of Eric. He was beating the hell out of Duke. It was just a brawl. It was a literal brawl. They were throwing each other around. They went out of the ring. They came back in the ring. It was great. Wes never ceases to put on for everyone in the crowd.
I mean, Wes is a fucking stud. He's been dude. I've loved Wes Barkley forever. Ever since one of the first time I saw him. Wes is a great wrestler, great personality, great, I don't know, person, like to the fans. He's always friendly with fans, shit like that. Just all around, overall A1 independent superstar.
And I think that's why everyone was cheering for him. And we all thought he had it. He actually took out Duke. Really tried to he had all these things against him. Duke ended up pulling the ref out before the 3rd count when Wes had Eric pinned. But this was the first time I've ever actually seen the ref boot the Duke. So Duke actually got ejected. Get the hell out of the ring. Get the hell out of the venue. And I was like, that's it. That's what we need. This is the crutch that Eric Taylor needs to win. So if you take that crutch away from him, he can't walk.
Yeah.
This was all wrong. We were all wrong because as Duke's walking out and everything's kind of seems like it's about to, be in Wes's favor, that slimy Chuck Stone comes out from underneath the ring and he hits him. He hits Wes with that hardcore Bill Alfonso hardcore tournament championship belt, knocks Wes to the ground, and Eric gets that pin.
Does that mean that Chuck has aligned himself with the Duke, or does that mean maybe he wants to fight Eric Taylor?
They've actually always run. Duke's been Chuck's manager for quite some time now. He's been running under them. So them as a collective, I don't think they call themselves the Bitcoin Boys. I don't know if they actually have a faction name anymore. But that is part of the stable with Eric Taylor, Duke.
The Duke's boys or whatever.
Yeah. And
gotcha.
So then just going into right after that, this now is a match between Wes and Chuck. This has been called out. Wes wants a piece of Chuck now, and I'm already excited because this is going right into Tougher Than Leather.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah. Well, this is the show we're going to.
That's the one, and this is going to be great. I want to see. I've never seen Chuck and Wes in the ring fighting the hell out of each other. This is going to be a good match.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. And especially because, you know, we don't know what could happen. I mean, Danhausen's there. He could come out and curse somebody.
Yes. Got the Demolition there. We got to see some tag team action. Got
somebody,
Effie.
something.
We also have a secret special guest that has yet to be announced.
Oh, really?
Mr. Thorne let us know that he bought a ticket, and he did not tell us for who.
Oh, all right. Well,
I
can't wait.
I do believe Fonzie got announced for Tougher Than Leather too. So my boy Bill Alfonso is going to be there.
Hell yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully we'll get to shake some Alfonso hand. I've always been a fan, so that'd be cool. AIW Leap, Vince, 4 out of 5 pile drivers. What are you rating this absolute intense wrestling show?
These guys, they put on a great show, 10 matches in the middle of the week. I was absolutely thrilled. I looked forward to this for so long. 4 out of 5 pile drivers for me. The action was nonstop. You know, they kept everything going, and genuinely speaking, they didn't even need to pull anyone in for this to be a great event. They didn't need to pay a superstar to come make up like their own presence, because they have a huge stable of superstars in their own right. Everyone that was out there Thursday night, thank you so much for putting on a great show.
Hell yeah. No, I respect it. And I will say this. AIW has always put on a great show. This one was just happened to be on a Thursday. And while you were at AIW Leap, I was over at Thursday Night Turmoil with Mega Championship Wrestling, where we got to see Tyreek Kalam take on Dustin Bowers. We got to see Cash Inc. do their thing. And overall, I think match of the night was for me. I don't know if you saw it or tuned. I mean, I know you were busy, obviously. But they had Cody Gray in the ring one-on-one with Paxton Calloway on Turmoil, buddy. So just make sure you're tuning in on Thursday nights if you're not doing anything. Turmoil has actually been the place to be. It's been the place to be. Like everybody, I'm talking every other wrestler wants to come to Turmoil from what I'm hearing. The house has been packed every weekend with people trying to get on the Thursday show. So, I mean, last week, hold on. And let me go ahead and put this out here. Last week's Post Turmoil was sponsored by Kai's Bakery and Treats. You can find them on Facebook.
So good.
Bruh. First off, what was left after, Post Turmoil was I was able to, pick through a little bit. I got a chocolate covered potato chip that was phenomenal.
Ooh.
I was actually able to get one of the pieces of cheesecake. Bruh. It was so good. Brandon said there's already people lined up for the Thursdays. Get with Mega Championship Wrestling if you have a baking or you make, some type of food items. Brandon would love to showcase you on Post Turmoil. He has sponsorship. Dude, he has sponsorship packages available. It's pretty sweet. I can't wait to see who's. Oh yeah, that was funny. I can't wait to see who's this week. Like, hey, I mean, I'm sure they can do some kind of cheese clip. We got Cliff Klepto in the chat. He'll be going for the RSW Junior Heavyweight Championship this coming Saturday against Air Duzen. Like I said, that show's coming up this weekend, and we're gonna get into that here shortly. But like I said, I do want to remind everybody, make sure you're tuning in to Mega Championship Wrestling. March 23rd, no more hot dogs and handshakes, live at Lorain County Community College. It's going to be a great show already. Main event, Alex Daniels versus Matt Justice. That's all I'm going to say. We'll go over this show in more detail in the coming weeks. But make sure you're tuning in on Thursday to see what happens on Turmoil. Keep you up to date on everything Mega Championship Wrestling. Now let's talk about RSW this weekend. we got a lot of stuff coming this weekend, and this card, I'm gonna have to pull it up because I know some matches off the top of my head, but I don't know them all. And I mean, I don't know what match is gonna start the show. I know that we got a fatal 4-way to end the show, though, and it is going to be just. We got the main event is for the RSW Heavyweight Championship. The Ultra Star Ashton Day takes on the Guiding Light, Matthew Taylor, takes on Shane Kryzak, all taking on the reigning, defending Dustin Alexander. Yeah. I mean, that's just that. I don't even know where to begin with that match, if we're being 100% honest, because it just seems like it's such I don't know who could win this match. I mean, obviously Dustin could win, but he could very well not. There's 3 or 4 other guys in here that are just. And then we have, so we announced this card last week too. And, we were fortunate enough to RSW allowed us to premiere this card. And there's already been a change, unfortunately. As we know, the adage, card subject to change. Originally, it was going to be Mount Kilpis versus Ruthless Lala and Isaiah Wolf. Unfortunately, Isaiah Wolf and Ruthless Lala have had to pull out.
Oh.
Unforeseen circumstances. At last I checked, everything's okay. Just, sometimes stuff happens and they had to pull out. RSW has never failed in giving us a replacement. We have 2 boys that we are very familiar with driving up from Canton to take on Mount Kilpis. Don Tavio and Wilbur Whitlock will be driving up to take on Mount Kilpis at RSW Wildcard.
That's awesome.
I'm freaking pumped for this one, dude. Like, this one is fucking going to be so exciting now. I mean, I was pumped for Lala before.
I was looking forward to seeing Lala, but what a way to replace. Like, that is just awesome. I'm just double excited now.
Yeah, no, 100%. Dude, I'm pumped that they're coming up. And that's not the only tag team match we have. We do have another tag team match. This one I am also very much looking forward to. The Golden Boys, RJ Jonesy and Jimmy James, will be going team for team with the Thunderbird, Jake Ely, and the Irishman, Tommy Irish, also known as the Thunder Spud Roadshow.
That is one of the best names in tag team.
It's probably one of the best names I've ever heard, if we're being 100% honest. Like, it's a great name. Like, that is a great tag team name. JD Smooth, Mr. Entertainer, he likes to call himself. The fans like to call him Harry Toothpick. We'll be going one-on-one against Frat Daddy. Not familiar with Frat Daddy. Like I said before, Eric Duzen will be putting his RSW Junior Heavyweight Championship on the line against Cliff Klepto.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that.
Anthony Rucker will be going one-on-one with Butchie B.
Oh, man, our boy Butchie.
And then last but most certainly not least, Cliff just said he's going to retire that punk. I did see recently that Air Duzen is thinking about hanging the boots up. So we'll see. And then, like I said, last but most certainly not least, we have Vance Desmond, former RSW heavyweight champion, going one-on-one with Theo Strong. And then the last match, I wanted to wait to bring it in last because obviously she is our guest on the show tonight. Chelsea Ray will be going one-on-one with Kolbe Max. Kolbe, thank you so much for joining us. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
No problem. I've done a little research. We're excited to see you. I've watched some matches. I talked to Tim. He said you got some skills. So we're excited to see you come up here to Parma and show out.
Thank you. I love the Ohio scene, so I am excited to get back.
Ohio scene is definitely popping right now, especially with the announcement of we're probably getting SummerSlam up here in Cleveland.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Sounds
if
like
we get SummerSlam, we've already had talks with some of the independent, promoters around the area that it's going to be a fire weekend that weekend.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I talked to you earlier and you told me you'd been training since you were 16 years old. So have you always been a wrestling fan? Like, is this something you
I
loved
have. I
growing
have two
up?
older brothers, so naturally that's a given.
Okay.
I didn't seriously consider it until I was 15. I met Finn Balor and Bailey, who Finn Balor is definitely who my moveset and my in-ring ability is kind of modeled after.
Okay.
At least that's who I try to take after. And I kind of had this mindset that they gave me the best day of my life, and now I want to give somebody the best day of their life the way they did for me. And when I was 16, I met my head trainer, and then the rest is history.
that's awesome.
Yeah. No,
That's good
100%.
motivation.
That's cool. So tell us a little bit about what was it like training at 16? I mean, did you kind of get looked down? Jose's in the chat. She will be facing Chelsea Ray this weekend at RSW. She'll be going one-on-one with Chelsea Ray, Jose. Jose's a picture taker. He'll be there with his camera. Him and Michelle, they hang out. They take great pictures. So
Okay,
make sure
Jose,
you got
be
your
sure to get
game
my good
face.
side then.
I was gonna say, get your good side out there. Like I said, what was it like training at 16? Obviously there being older person, or was there many that kind of wanted to take you under their wing, or was it kind of like, oh, look at this kid,
For the there was maybe just a small handful of people who were like, "Oh, 16-year-old girl, this won't last well." But but fortunately, a majority of the people did see me as me being taken under their wing, and I am grateful for that because I mean, being only 16 years old is kind of scary. And honestly, I also want to take this moment to appreciate my dad who came to every training session, my first like 5, 6 training sessions with me and sat there the whole time.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
awesome,
I mean,
Dad.
as a girl dad, I totally get it. So like I'm at softball practice every time. I'm at every game.
Mhm.
I, switched jobs so that I could be at every game. Like I have to support my daughters. So I have 2 of them. So I've seen you've won some gold in
9.
your short career. How many titles have you
I
won?
won 9 titles.
9.
That's
All before I
that
turned
many.
20.
That's a lot.
8 before I turned 20.
Wow.
Sheesh. 8 before she turned 20. That sounds like some Charlotte
Yeah,
Flair type of resume
I won
there.
my first when I was 17.
Okay. How many
Okay.
promotions do you work with?
Uh,
That a lot?
a lot.
Okay.
I mean, just
Um,
trying to get around wherever you can, trying to get your name out as much as possible.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, I always try to send resumes when I have time to. I always try to make new connections.
That's a good way
Oh,
to
yeah.
get going through the business. You want to try to get your foot in every door you can.
No, 100%. Like you want to get your name out, and that's one of the reasons we wanted to have you on the show. We'll introduce,
I appreciate
Northeast
it.
Ohio to you. Like I said, Tim has sent me some stuff. I've seen some of your matches, or at least some of the highlights from them. And from what I've seen, I'm really excited to see. I know Chelsea can work. She's good. So don't
She's
be
been on
sleeping on her
NWA,
now.
so I have high
Yeah.
expectations.
I was gonna say, don't be sleeping on her now, but she's a tough one. Have you ever been to Cleveland before? Have you ever been up to this area to wrestle, or is this your first time?
I haven't been up there to wrestle, but given that I am a Cleveland Browns fan by association, I have
Okay.
definitely been to the Cleveland area. One was actually for my 16th birthday present. I went to a Walking Dead con, and that was
Oh, nice.
wonderful. And 2 summers ago, my mother and I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm a Green Day fan, so I had to go see all their stuff.
Hey, that's cool. That's awesome. I feel like as an Ohioan, we take that kind of stuff for granted because, it's 20 minutes away from me, so I can go to the Rock Hall whenever I want. Because I have friends that like live in Kansas City and stuff, and they've told me that like going to Cedar Point is like a basket or a bucket list item for them. And I'm like, I go to Cedar Point 15 times a summer.
So
I'm like, I go to Cedar, I get season passes every year. We go 37 times a summer. It's literally 30 minutes west of us. Like,
must be nice.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, what's something you've learned throughout wrestling that you've kind of attributed to your everyday life?
You don't owe anybody anything. What else? Don't be afraid to block people, both figuratively and literally.
Okay.
I guess that kind of attributes to the you don't owe anybody anything. And I mean, there's a difference between, hey, I did this for you, so you have to do this for me now. I'm like, is that a favor or is you just doing business?
I was going to say, yeah, kind of like you don't know the different, kind of differentiate.
And as someone very young in the business, who started very young in the business, because I started going out of state when I was right as after I turned 18, and I kind of had to learn that quickly because, as some of you said, as you said earlier, how some people, the possibility of being looked down upon because of my age.
Because you're so young, exactly.
So
Tim Cross is in the chat. Tim Cross is in the chat. He said, "What's up?" Hey, Tim, how you doing? Can't wait to see you this weekend, bud. I apologize. I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're fine.
Now, I know you are a lot younger. Who are some of your influences? I know you said Finn Balor. That's your main? Okay, that's your main influence.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think who else. Lita, definitely.
Oh,
okay,
cool.
I was just gonna say, do you have any
red,
female?
So.
Okay.
Bailey for sure. Rhea Ripley, CM Punk, because when I was 10 years old, he was my idol.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm a big CM Punk fan. I mean, I go on all my socials. I go by the best in the world. I took it from him. He, probably one of my favorite promos ever was the one he just dropped on Raw a couple weeks ago where he, explained what best in the world meant to him. And it just resonated. So I love CM Punk. I've always loved CM Punk. So.
I can't remember the last time I was that invested in a promo, but when it was between him and Cody right before the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Like I said, I cannot remember the last time I was that impressed and invested in something like that.
No, 100%. And I'm gonna steal a line because I don't know if you watch SmackDown. I know Vince wasn't able to catch it this past weekend. The Rock said something on in his promo, and it hit. Wrestling's cool again. Like wrestling's cool. It's cool like it was Attitude Era style, in my opinion. People are talking about it. People that don't really, hey, did you see that The Rock did this or Roman did this or Seth Rollins did this and Cody Rhodes is going to finish his story.
It's becoming bigger. It's getting huger. You're seeing people that don't even really involve themselves in wrestling talking about it now.
Oh, definitely. And wrestling has always been mainstream, even as far back as the early 1900s. However, it's becoming more of a household mainstream.
Yes. No, 100%. I mean, I think it's because of people like, I hate to put it, but like people like me and Dean, like our kids now. I'm putting my kids, they know I'm watching wrestling. I bring my girls to shows. They come and hang out at shows with us, and they know that this is what we do. So like sometimes Zoe likes it, sometimes she doesn't like it. She knows she'll laugh and she knows who she wants to cheer for, and I think it's made it cool again, I guess.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
What?
Go ahead, Vince.
I got a quick one. Out of all of your matches, can you give us a couple of your favorites? Like, who are your favorite opponents?
I've had the privilege to step in the ring with Chelsea Green. That was a wonderful match. Some reason I cannot find it anywhere.
Really?
I know there's footage out there somewhere of it, and and it kills me, but I cannot. I have images from that show though, and she was wonderful. Um, I've always loved sharing a locker room with Dream Girl Ellie.
Okay.
Brittany Jade has always been wonderful. My most previous match that I had last weekend was with Emily J. And
Okay.
I've known her for a good 2 years now, and I finally got to step in the ring with her. That was a good experience. Amazing Maria, and Haley J. They're both two great people to share the ring with. Freya the Slaya or Freya States. Caleb Conley. Caleb Conley is definitely a great person to share a locker room with. Jada Stone. I've only been against a tag team match with her. However, I would love to have a singles match with her at some point. And I could keep naming and naming and naming.
That was kind of my next one. Is there anybody you would love to face? Like somebody you haven't faced and that you're like on your list. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a list at home on a dry erase board that you can just cross one off when you get to it.
I have yet to share the ring with Jamie Lynn Senegal, who Ari Alexander. I've shared a locker room with Ari multiple times, and she is wonderful. And I would love to step in the ring with her.
She will be so look here. I'll throw this out there. We're having a mega championship wrestling is another promotion up here. They're doing a mega championship cup every year. They do a mega championship cup. And this year it's focusing on the women's division. And it's called Baddies and the Beast. So I know that Brandon Xavier is watching currently. So maybe you put on a good show at RSW and Tim will put in a good word and you come back up to Ohio.
I would love that. And
I know that Ari Alexander has been announced. Ari Alexander has been announced for Baddies and the Beast. So that will be my first time getting to see her. So I'm excited for that. She looks like she's a badass. I've seen her on OVW. I've watched her with Carson Drake and stuff. She looks like a badass.
She is.
I won't hold you up. We won't keep you too long. Coming up this weekend at the VFW in Parma on York Road, you're going one-on-one with Chelsea. Do you have anything to say to her before we let you go?
Well, I might seem like a sweet little punk kid here, but when you step in the ring with me, you're going to get Devilance Kolbe.
Ooh,
I come from the Bloody Hollers of West Virginia. Expect nothing less.
There it is. And that's it. Kolbe, thank you so much for joining us and hanging out. I appreciate you. Looking forward to seeing you this weekend, putting on a great match at RSW.
Thank you all so much for having me. I look forward to meeting you in person.
No problem. You as well.
Right,
have a great night. Bye. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Kolbe Max one-on-one with Chelsea Ray this weekend at RSW on 7667 York Road in Parma, Ohio. I believe the bell time is at 7 p.m. So doors will open around 6:30. In the chat, we got a couple people. Tim's in there, Brandon's in there, and my little cousin Ray said, "What up?" So, what up, Ray? Thanks for watching, hanging out. Yeah, that was. I'm excited. Like I said, I've seen some footage on her, and she looks like she can go. And I didn't know how old she was, and when I found out she was only 20 years old, like, she's definitely got a bright future ahead of her if she keeps up on that.
I mean, literally with that list of people, just Chelsea Green, Dream Girl Ellie. I mean, she is really working with a bunch of great women out there that are really going to help her, through her path. And I just like straight up, her demeanor. She seems like she's got a great head on her shoulder, and I look forward to seeing her in the ring and actually, like she said, meeting her in person.
I was going to say it was the twist turn at the end for me where she was like, yeah, it might seem nice, but I'm going to fucking kill you.
Yep. Love
I'm
that.
about that life. Yeah, I'm about that life. Drew the Werewolf starter in the chat. Big Drew, excited for OCW's comeback. OCW The Big Bang also coming back on the 23rd of March. Unfortunately, we won't be able to go to that. We're already, we're locked in for hot dogs and handshakes.
Hot dogs.
I did see, Drew, tell me about it because I don't want to go look. There was a match announced for the Big Bang. I know that Wilbur Whitlock will be fighting Brandon Fields for the Ohio Heritage Championship. It might be the first time that Wilbur can taste some gold in OCW.
I'm hoping. I'd love to see Wilbur carry some gold around.
Look, you're not familiar with Brandon Fields, though, okay? Brandon Fields is the professional. That's what he goes by. And let me tell you, this man's he's good, Vince. He's a technical wrestler. He's good. Yeah,
Okay.
Drew said that's the one. That was the match. So yeah, that's the one he was talking about. But yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to see the results. I hope that, maybe we can get Drew on if Drew ends up going. Drew, are you going to OCW? Because if you are, we'd love to have you on afterwards to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I haven't talked to Paulie. We were going to try to get Paulie to go. But if Drew's going, we haven't ever had the Wolf on the podcast, so that'd be nice too. Let's talk about one more thing before we get out of here, and that is what's on your fucking shirt. Let's talk about the legacy of the man whose career will end this evening at AEW Revolution 2024. First off, before we get into the semantics, do they lose the tag team titles to the Bucks?
I want to say no. I want to say that he holds that gold
and retires with it.
Yes, but
who does Darby have to pick a new partner? You know what I'm saying? Like
that's what's hard for me to want to keep that as my solid choice, because where else?
Yeah, I know. I see the Young Bucks obviously taking it away because of that reasoning. Darby and can't be a double tag team partner by himself. I mean, he probably could. Like, he could definitely defend them by himself, but he'd probably lose them immediately. So if they do win tonight, I look for Darby to maybe drop them on Wednesday at Dynamite, try to defend them solo and drop them to somebody. But
if somebody comes in, I mean, I know that he's been running with AR Fox lately. Is it AR Fox?
Yeah.
That would be cool. I think that would be a really good tag team in itself, because they've worked so closely with each other growing up and everything. But I just don't see that working in the storylines. That's the hardest part, and that's one of the hardest things with AEW right now. I don't know what the hell is going on in the stories. It is so confusing. It went from whatever.
I agree.
It's now what is it, Nicholas and whatever their names are changing, and they're heels, and I'm just like, all right, can we just go back to the old days, like where it made sense? But
I mean,
your toes.
AEW, I don't know, man. The whole storyline itself has been weird lately. It seems like Tony Khan is trying to keep up because, like I said, AEW was hot for a long time, but then with the exception of, not the exception, but with the dismissal of Vince McMahon and the Triple H takeover, WWE has been on fire,
just flourishing.
Like, I'm talking WWE is the best it's been in 5-10 years, dude.
Exactly. Actually, I wanted to say Kolbe mentioned, 10 years ago, CM Punk was the biggest fucking deal, and it almost felt like we were going to get that resurgence again when he came back. That's when
it was supposed to be that, dude. Yes. Because I guarantee you, had Punk not got hurt, it would have been Punk winning the Elimination Chamber.
Yes. 100%. And that would have been like everybody's dream. That's literally CM Punk's dream.
And he would have won the Elimination Chamber, and we'd have got Punk versus Seth at the WrestleMania. And then with Seth taking time off, he would have dropped it to Punk. Punk could have achieved his dream of main eventing WrestleMania and winning the title. And then it would have been, I don't know. But on SmackDown, Roman and The Rock, well, the whole bloodline came out. The Rock cut a promo, obviously. Okay, first off, Vince, I'm telling you to watch this promo that I sent in the chat. It's like 30 minutes long, and YouTube puts ads in the shit, so it's really only like 20 minutes long. The Rock called the city of Phoenix crackheads multiple times. Tells them they smoke meth.
No,
bro. It's ridiculous how bad he roasts this city. And then, so as he's talking shit, he proposes a challenge. Remember how Cody challenged The Rock one-on-one? He wants to fight him one-on-one. The Rock said no. We all called this. I'm pretty sure I called it at least. Night one, The Rock has counter-offered and said, night one, Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody and Seth in a tag team match. If Cody and Seth win, the Bloodline is barred from ringside during Cody and Roman's match.
Ah,
If The Rock and Roman Reigns win, the Cody Roman match is Bloodline rules.
oh no.
So we'll see if, and he said, come next week to Dallas. The Rock said, come next week to SmackDown and accept our challenge. Bring your cartoon emoji best friend, Seth Rollins, and come to SmackDown and accept our challenge.
Oh my God. The Rock is just on one. I'm going to have to watch this. This just sounds great.
Drew said he believes that they'll retain the tag team titles, Sting and Darby, and then relinquish them on Dynamite. Then a tournament will be announced for the tag team titles.
That would be cool. That would be a great,
I can see that. I can see that.
Honor the Stinger, man. Hey, speaking of, again, we're talking about him again. Do you want to talk about your favorite moment of Sting's life?
I of course I do. That's where I was going to head next. I was going to get right back into it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can pinpoint a favorite one because a lot of them actually stand out in my head. So, like, obviously, the one of my favorite things about Sting was the mask. He was one of the first ones that they offered a mask, like as a replica, like a face prop. Like when you went to WCW, you could buy a plastic mask, and it was Sting. That was cool because I was a kid. I remember going to Thunder and getting a plastic Sting mask. Like it was really it was cool. Obviously, Sting going from bleach blonde to the Crow. Like when he disappeared, that was probably one of my favorite moments because he didn't wrestle for a long time. They just kind of showed him just hanging out in the rafters.
Yep.
And it was very, and Edge did it too. Edge did the same kind of shit when he came out with the enigmatic Edge or whatever they called him.
Yeah, when he started doing the Radar Superstar stuff, yeah.
And he would just, Edge was just sitting in the crowd. Like he'd just be sitting in the crowd hanging out and they'd show him. There's Edge, Superstar Edge, or, this newcomer Edge. So yeah, when they would show Sting up top. And then, I don't know, I guess if I had to pick a favorite moment, it would be when they all came back at WrestleMania when NWO fought DX.
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up because again, that's definitely up there in mine, and I'm glad.
Yeah, that was good because that was what we all wanted. And we got Kevin Nash, Razor Ramon, and it was just X-Pac, and it was good. And you didn't know who X-Pac's side was going to be on. Like it was good. And then Sting came out to help. Like it was, yeah.
No, that's awesome. Well, I'll go ahead. You really did name everything for me. I'm gonna add to it the fact that Sting would come from the rafters. When he would hang down from the rafters. That to me, when I was young, wow, I would freak.
So fucking cool.
I would freak. I had the bat, and he was bad man. He'd just show up. I had to look this one up though, because I remember seeing photos of this. And this one to me really stands out for Mr. Stinger's career. There was a 1990 WCW pay-per-view. It was called Capital Combat.
Oh, yeah.
And Sting gets some assistance from a very unlikely friend. It's RoboCop.
Yeah. I remember when RoboCop came out, dude. That shit was crazy. Like, it was so nuts. Because
it's so cool. Like, I love old movies. And RoboCop always stood out to me as like one of my favorite movies growing up. But getting to like think and find out about this and then watching the footage, I was like, this is just the most beautiful thing in the world. Like, Sting's been my favorite wrestler since I can remember. Like you said, the face paint really set the tone for me. I thought he was the coolest out of them all.
I was never really a big bleach blonde Sting fan. Like, he was cool. He was cool. But he was, you know what I'm saying? But, and I hate to just call him this, but everybody knows when you say it like this, the Crow Sting was fucking awesome.
Yep.
He was so cool. And then when he joined, at months and months of Hogan trying to get him to join the NWO, when he joins the NWO and then rips his shirt off and it's a fucking Wolfpack shirt. Yep. Dude, as a 14-year-old kid, dude, that shit blew my mind.
Yeah, we had it made growing up, especially having Sting, with us through so many years. So just Thank you, Sting, for everything.
I mean, my timeline, 100%. Thank you. My timeline today has been filled with nothing but my wrestling friends giving their thanks to this fucking icon. Like, just
that's who he is. He's an icon, and he will always remain that.
I'll even say it lists 95% of independent wrestlers today, even if they're not old enough, know who Sting is, and and has been influenced by him in some way, because he's just been that. I saw a vignette today that AEW, I don't know if AEW posted it or one of the dirt sheets posted it, I can't remember, but it was like people calling Sting and leaving voicemails on his phone. And like, I'm talking Paul White, Dustin Rhodes, like just people. And then the one that killed me was from his sister. She was like, not many people can say that they have a superhero for a brother, but I can. And I was like, because dude, it's Sting. Like,
it's Sting.
Whether you like bleach blonde Sting, old school or new or mid, WCW.
Even
Monday Night Wars. Yeah. Monday Night Wars Sting. If you were introduced to Sting during the TNA era Sting, or even now as a new fan, if you've just been introduced to Sting as an AEW guy, even now, Sting, I remember at the last Revolution, this motherfucker jumped off something. Like dive, like at least 10 feet.
Dude, he took one of Sammy's like 630 splashes through a table. Like, yeah. And it was a bad bump. They talked about it. Like, it was bad. And he still just took it like a champ because he's the man.
No, 100%, dude. It's like Sting's such a badass. I don't even know. Like, I kudos to Sting. I give the career a 10 out of 10, Piledriver.
10 out of 10, yes.
I mean, there's not many people that can, do it for 30. I think the last number I heard was 35 years. He's had a 35-year wrestling career. And crazy. The last time somebody said something like that was like a Ric Flair, when he's like, but Ric Flair still counts his now being a wrestling career. Like, Sting's legitimately been wrestling.
Yep, Sting stayed the ring.
The AEW Tag Team Champion, and he puts it on the line. Like, so kudos to Sting. If people are watching, I thank you for watching. If you're not watching Revolution and you're hanging out with us, Revolution is going on live right now. I'll be sure to check those results. But as for now, I don't have anything else. Make sure you get out to RSW this weekend. We'll be there in full force. Unfortunately, Dean was never able to get that computer fixed. So it was just me and Vince tonight. We're okay with that. Dean loves us all. He didn't forget about us, and we're gonna get that new computer. We're gonna get his computer fixed up or something.
Go fund me.
It'll be a beautiful weekend at RSW. Real Shoot Wrestling coming up. I got nothing other than that, buddy. Make sure you get your tickets.
I always try to end each show with some thank yous. So I'm just going to go ahead and say thank you to Cody at AIW. He's one of the guys that actually runs the background. Always make sure everyone's taken care of. He's, usually runs the raffle, make sure he goes all the way out to every other person, making sure they got everything they need. So shout out Cody. Hey, we actually did forget. We did name our Piledriver Wrestler of the Month.
We did. And I was kind of hoping for Dean to pop in for this one. We do have a February Wrestler of the Month. The February Piledriver Wrestler of the Month is none other than Christian Napier. We saw Christian kill things over the month.
Yes.
He was able to we saw him fought Bray. He was able to get that dub. We saw him
park clip. That was wild.
The skate park clip. That's exactly where I was going. He showed up at a skate park at Ruthless Pro Wrestling in Michigan. It was a special show they ran at this skate park. He showed up and just absolutely wrecked shop. Threw some dude off the coping into a bowl. Like it through a door. Just crazy stuff. 440 has been on the rise. Christian's been on a tear ever since he joined the blue side of 440. Him and Ricky Shane Page and Vincent Nothing are just
they're bad men.
So be on the lookout. Actually just announced for the show in March. Christian Napier will be going one-on-one at Neo Pro Wrestling with 5-star Thomas Adams.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
So we've talked to 5-star before. Christian was very, very upset that TA was named Wrestler of the Year. He thought the votes were swayed by TA's family. So Christian's got a little beef with Thomas Adams. So I can't wait to see where this heads on the 30th at Neo Pro. So shout out to Christian, Piledriver Wrestler of the Month for the month of February. We'll post up the graphic. Make sure you share it everywhere, everybody. Let everybody know they should be watching out Christian Napier. Anybody can be Piledriver Wrestler of the Month for March. We got all kinds of shows going on. RSW, Mega Championship Wrestling, AIW, all kinds of shows. Anybody can be Wrestler of the Month. It could be you. I don't have anything else. Make sure you tune into Turmoil on Thursday. That's probably my main. Yeah, Tommy, even you. Tommy said even me. Tommy, you could be Wrestler of the Month. Make sure you're tuning into Turmoil on Thursday so you can make sure you know what's going on with No More Hot Dogs and Handshakes for Mega Championship Wrestling. We saw Chris Onyx pick his poison last week against Butchie B. Had to go one-on-one with Tim. The Infinite Man was back at Mega Championship Wrestling, and he actually put a whooping on Butchie B. So this Pick Your Poison series that Chris and Butchie have going on against each other, I don't know where it's going to end up, but I know that Chris has to face Shogun on March 23rd.
Yeah, that's a matchup and a half.
So we'll see what goes on there. But for now, we'll keep you all updated, and we'll see all of you hopefully this week at RSW presents Wildcard out in Parma. I am the best in the world. That's my boy Vince. We'll see you next week.
Later.